In March of 2021, we produced an Artifact of the Week video on Paul Seipel. Unfortunately, we mispronounced his last name in the video, and a friend of the family had shared that video with his daughter and requested that we fix this error. Coincidentally, we recently updated the Scouts in Antarctica display here at the National Scouting Museum, so it gave us a great opportunity to share this redesigned display and correct our error, all on this edition of Artifact of the Week. In 1928, then Commander Richard Byrd was planning an expedition to Antarctica. As he was assembling his team, Byrd wrote, "I expect to take a Boy Scout to the Antarctic with me. This boy will be chosen by the huge Scout organization this summer." Why do I want a Boy Scout? Because health, loyalty, youth, and ambition mean more to the exploration than science and training. I look for great things from my Boy Scout. The call went out and thousands of scouts submitted their applications to accompany the Byrd expedition. One of the scouts that submitted an application was Paul A. Seipel from Erie, Pennsylvania. Seipel was an Eagle Scout, having earned 60 merit badges during his scouting career. As each merit badge was earned, he painted images of them on the wall in his bedroom. Merit badges such as astronomy, aviation, pathfinding, surveying, hiking, weather, photography, taxidermy, and radio, along with other scout skills he mastered, all prepared him for the adventure of a lifetime that would turn out to last a lifetime and his career. Not only was Seipel a Boy Scout, but he was also a Sea Scout, where he learned about ships and nautical terms. He learned to splice lines and tie knots, but more importantly, he learned about other adventures, such as Captain Scott and his ill-fated adventure to the South Pole. This sparked a desire in Seipel to visit these frozen lands. Of the thousands of applications submitted, Seipel and 5 other scouts were selected as finalists and traveled to New York City for a final evaluation. These 6 scouts represented the very best the BSA had to offer. One had climbed Mount Rainier, another had completed a 160-mile canoe trip, one had earned the life-saving medal. Commander Byrd wrote, "The choice will be someone who, because of his scout training, character, and ability, would make a vital contribution to the happiness and success of the Byrd expedition." In the end, Paul Seipel and his Boy Scout and Sea Scout experiences put him over the top, and he was selected to accompany Byrd to Antarctica. He was 19 years old. When Seipel joined the crew, he started in the galley as a messman, serving meals and working in the kitchen. Because of his Sea Scout experiences, Seipel was promoted to seaman, where he kept watch and took his turn at the helm. His knowledge of map and compass got him promoted to helmsman. Upon arrival in Antarctica, the crew built a base camp on the Ross Ice Shelf, naming it Little America. For the next 18 months, they lived and worked there. Seipel was responsible for taking care of the sled dogs. While Seipel had winter camping experience as a scout, it could not prepare him for the extreme cold he would experience on the continent at the bottom of the earth. During a rescue mission to rescue Commander Byrd when his plane was not able to return from a flight, the nighttime temperature would drop to 20 below zero. The dogs pulled rescue sleds filled with 1,000 pounds of supplies, and he had to run alongside for up to 20 miles a day, assisting the dogs pulling the sleds over softer patches of snow. On another trip, Seipel and his team were almost lost in a blizzard. Fortunately, they found their way back using orange flags that are planted along the trail for such emergencies. Seipel also contributed to scientific research for the Smithsonian Institute while at Little America. His work included collecting and transporting live emperor penguins back for additional research. He also got to study how fast seal pups grew. Commander Byrd wrote that Seipel demonstrated the value of scout training and carried out thoroughly and conscientiously every task assigned to him. Seipel returned to the Antarctic with Admiral Byrd on his final 4 expeditions, including the 1930 trip when he was again representing the BSA. It is believed that Seipel is the only person outside of Byrd himself to participate in all 5 Byrd expeditions. This fur-lined hood was issued to Seipel in 1957 when he returned to Antarctica to serve as the inaugural scientific leader at the U.S. Amundsen Scott South Pole Station.
I'm Dr. Paul Seipel of the Department of Army, the scientific leader at the South Pole Station. We've been here at the South Pole Station for the past year, carrying out part of the International Geophysical Year program.
He also worked closely with the U.S. Army to develop cold weather gear for the Korean War and to serve as a cold weather expert. But maybe Seipel's most lasting and important contribution can be felt, particularly by those of you in colder climates. During his time in Little America, Seipel, along with fellow researcher Charles Passel, studied how the wind made the temperature feel colder. This calculation and the term are now used routinely by weathermen to report on the wind chill factor. Following the example of Seipel, Eagle Scout Richard Chappell was selected to join the researchers of the United States Antarctic Program to mark the International Geophysical Year in 1957 and 58. This was a unique opportunity where Seipel, the first Eagle Scout, was now leading an expedition where another Eagle Scout would be participating. Over the years, there have been other scouts that have participated in Antarctic expeditions on behalf of the BSA. For a short period of time, the National Science Foundation sponsored an event that was on a 3-year cycle, sending an Eagle Scout or a Girl Scout Gold Award recipient to work with Antarctic researchers. On display here at the National Scouting Museum are a number of items donated by Seipel and Chappell. For example, these rubber and canvas cold weather boots issued to Seipel in 1957. Visitors to the museum today will tell us that these types of boots are still in use by Antarctic researchers. These cold weather mittens were issued to Chappell during his trip in 1957. Chappell also donated this model of a kayak from his trip. The flag you see here in the back of the exhibit was flown on the South Pole by Seipel once in 1957 and again in April of 1958. The 58 flying was at half-staff in honor of the death of Admiral Byrd about a month earlier. Last month, Crew 774 from Orange County Council, California, completed their own Antarctic adventure. This blog post from one of the participants helps to tell their story. In the span of only a few days, I went kayaking, went on a couple of landings, camped out on the ice, and went on Zodiac tours around Antarctica. And I did the polar plunge. I've been so caught up with the excitement of everything, journaling was the least of my concerns. You can learn more about their adventures by visiting their Facebook page or their website. Well, that's all we have for you today. Join us next time as we continue to share with you the history of the BSA through the collection of the National Scouting Museum and Artifact of the Week.